Joan Brown, and we are the 55th episode of the Flip Learning Network podcast, and I am here in Fairfax, Virginia at the Google Summit. And for those of you who have ever been to a Google Summit, this is fire hose learning. We're going to tell a little bit about what we've been doing here, but let me tell you who the we are. This is the Flip Learning Network meets the Google Educast. You got... I want you guys to introduce yourselves.
Sean Williams.
Juan De Luca.
Kevin Brookhauser.
And I'm Fred Delventhal.
Hi, Fred.
This is great. We're all here, and we're presenting Google tools, and we're doing a lot with educators here on the East Coast, getting them all excited about using these tools. But I'm also seeing a lot of flipped classroom sessions, and I thought maybe you all would tell me what kind of tools are they using in a flipped class that are googly tools.
Well, Kevin did a whole session on it. You can talk about it.
Yeah, so I use, well, the obvious one is YouTube, right? I mean, that's a Google tool, and it's what a lot of us use for getting videos out to students to flip our classes. So YouTube is just great because there's just so many people there, and it's really easy to use, and it's fast, and it's ubiquitous. So YouTube is obviously the big flipped tool. You know, one thing that a lot of people don't know is that YouTube is also its own video editor. You can trim videos and bring in videos, and you can add videos to your video. Go dive into all those different editing settings and play with videos, create content videos.
Yeah, I did a whole session on playlists, and
I heard good things about that session.
Well, the amazing thing is these intros that you can throw on somebody else's content to focus the kids on what it is you want them to get out of the video. That's just so simple to do, and yet so powerful.
Yeah, and something amazing that Kevin does is on his videos, if there's a little test, so it asks you a question, and if you didn't get it, if you didn't get their grammar videos, so if you didn't get the concept and you click the wrong option, it would take you to the explanation, and then you would try again. And if you get it right, then you can move on. So you know, it's teaching you, and it's also testing you at the same time, and it's differentiating because if you didn't get it right, then instead of just marking it wrong and like on a test, you can go back and you get instruction. So that's awesome.
So one of my things that I like to do is in a Google site, because you know it's beginner baby step things, is if you do the site format so you're in 2 columns, you can put the video in 1 column and just have a simple form and insert the form in the other so that students, as they're watching the video, can fill out the form, pause the video, fill out the form, finish watching it and stuff. And then, you know, you kind of get that much of the information. They get a little bit of feedback on what they got out of that. When they come in the classroom the next day, you at least have a place to start with. So it's very, like, beginner flip, but I've had some teachers try it out and they really like it.
There's a lot of teachers here that are grasping onto that idea. I'm the beginner. I need some tools right away that are easy to use, and I can use them. And I'm going to piggyback on what you just said because I'm using titles to mirror the same question in the video that is on the Google form. So they know at what point in the video they're supposed to be answering that question, and that's hugely helpful, especially with the younger kids that, you know, they just let the whole video go and then they don't know, well, where was I supposed to pause? Where was I supposed to know this? And it's just helpful. All right.
There's a theme here, though. What you're doing and what a lot of teachers around here are doing is, you know, it's more than just putting up a video. We're trying to make it more interactive, that we're keeping them engaged with the video, whether they're taking notes using a note-taking tool. And what's that tool where you can
Video notes.
Video notes, where you can take notes during a video and those notes get time-stamped based on when you enter those notes in. There's a new application called Zaption, that's coming out that makes videos more interactive. Stay tuned for that.
Yep.
And then there's also the questions beta feature in YouTube that nobody knows about, but it's pretty useful. Just Google YouTube questions beta and turn that on. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I think what you're saying is that, and I've been telling teachers this, we actually got to teach kids how not to be passive when watching a video, because that's a big jump for them. They are so used to sitting back. All right, I'm going to ask you another one, just in general. Can you tell me a time when you've observed, or you yourself have done a great flip lesson, or you've seen somebody do something that was outstanding?
I've got this.
I want to apologize to everybody who's watching this. We are at lunch, and I stole these guys away from their lunch, so that's why he's finishing his drink.
Starving everybody. I'm just kidding.
So I do make videos to try to help my students out. But before I make a video about a specific topic, I search YouTube to see if someone else has done it already to save me time, or someone's done it better. And there's a guy out here. His name is Mr. Sato 411. M-I-S-T-E-R. You got to write this down. Get out a pencil. M-I-S-T-E-R-S-A-T-O 411. This guy is producing just unbelievably thoughtful videos about writing. And I'm just like, I want to give up because he's so good. You've got to follow this guy if you teach writing at all. It's just, he spends so much time just writing his videos perfectly. And so follow that guy. He's doing amazing work.
Yeah.
I also heard another GCT from London that told me a flip lesson she did. I remember she told me she would do a Google form, but it was more about the lesson was in the Google form. So it took you to different links, and you could watch videos with what Sean said, dividing your Google Sites. And then she used the form at the end, but it wasn't to evaluate, it wasn't to test, let's say. It was to evaluate their knowledge, if they got the lesson, if they understood the lesson. So the next day, she would tweak, depending on what the students were answering. If they all got certain concepts but they didn't get others, then she would focus on those. So you're pre-evaluating and you're modifying your lesson so you don't go over the things that they understood, and you can focus on what they didn't, and start some interesting conversations based on what they wrote. So it's also that's also another version of flipped, where it helps you to plan your own class. So
that's a lot like Ramsey's Explorer, simply because he's checking for understanding before he produces a video and before he moves on into the instruction piece. That's really that's good pedagogy. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I get to work with teachers usually when they get more experienced and stuff. They're like, yeah, dude, don't come around anymore. Leave me alone. Let me do my thing. So, but it's exciting and encouraging because it's a lot like Juan was saying. The teachers that I work with are doing that where they're getting that response before, so that they can do more differentiation in the classroom, really. And so put the concept out there. Check in with the kids and see where they are, and then customize the lesson, kind of just-in-time teaching instead of just-in-time learning. And so I'm seeing that more and more, which is really exciting, and then they never invite me back. So.
That's good.
But it's good. That means they don't need me anymore. So.
Hey, Fred, I know you're here in Virginia, and I feel, at least out this direction, there are fewer people trying to use video or trying to use a flipped concept. What are you seeing?
Well, being at the elementary level and having a large percentage of our families don't have internet access at home yet, so I don't see that much of the flipped concept. I still have teachers that are doing worksheets as homework kind of things. So I think that there's a large interest in it, I hear about it buzzing through the high schools and the middle schools too. So I do hear it at my meetings with other people and talking to other teachers in the district. But at least at my building, we're just not there yet.
Well, we have one educator that is doing a session today. I can't recall when, but his name is Frank Franz, and he's been on the Flip Learning podcast. And he is using Google. He's flipping his entire high school class and doing a very nice job. He's a wonderful educator. I've observed him. So I'm giving him a plug. But he's probably posting his resources for this Google Summit. So all of those resources are out there, public view. And anybody who's watching can grab those. My last question, because I know this is lunch and we've got to move on to our next session. Future of Flipped. Is this just a trend? Or are we moving forward into something bigger? What do you all think? You want to go, Fred?
Yeah, Fred should go first.
Yeah.
I was trying to do a Sean and get through the whole video without saying anything. I think it's a trend. I'll go out there and say that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a buzzword, and that's what's the trend. Just like we talked before about integrating technology, and it's not integrating technology or flipping the classroom. It's just good teaching. It's just good practices on how students learn best, how you should manage your classroom and your learning. So I think we're going to stop using those words and just call it
Teaching.
teaching. Yeah. At least good teaching.
So I mean, I think it's a trend too, but I think sometimes when you call something a trend, you imply that it's a trend that's fleeting, and I don't think it's fleeting. I think video is here to stay. I think it's incredibly powerful, but I think it can be overdone. It is not a panacea. Videos are never going to take away one-on-one instruction in a meaningful way. But I think for activities that I usually call them algorithmic activities, where I'm trying to teach students some sort of instruction that has a very clear roadmap, and it's easy to make videos, I think, that instruct how to do a specific thing. So like, finding the hypotenuse of a triangle, or force equals mass times acceleration, or which there to use in a sentence. I think all three of those types of things can translate into video really effectively. But when we're talking about creative problem solving and getting students to be more innovative and do more making, well then I don't think videos are going to replace that anytime soon. But I found that videos replace the boring part of my job as a teacher, and I can focus on what is a lot more fun to teach, and it's that other stuff.
Well, and I'll go back to what I said in terms of that it's a trend. I think, as it's been stated, trends can sometimes just become the norm.
Yep.
Right now it's, but yet what we're doing, and a lot of school districts are looking at this. We're not looking at trying to keep the kids within the walls from 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night to get everything in that they have to learn, but extending the school day from what they do in the classroom to also what they do at home, so that the learning just doesn't take place within the walls, but that the learning is extended throughout their day, so it's really a full day of learning. And so that's what I see as happening with videos and with flipping the classroom and other things such as blended and hybrid learning situations where kids are accessing online courses and things. So that's where I see it going.
And real quickly, I'm really bullish on the whole internet thing. I'm not really kidding. I mean it. I know a lot of students out there don't have access to the internet, and it's not a level playing field, but it is leveling. And I feel like it's going to just get more and more available and accessible to a wider number of people and economic backgrounds. First of all, right now, every Starbucks has free internet.
Provided by whom?
Provided by Google, right? So how can you not find a Starbucks next door, right? So that's I think that and other public places are going to be the new libraries. I don't know if there's a really large future for libraries. I hope there is, but I worry about that. But I think that the private places, well, private-owned places that serve a public purpose, I do feel good about there being more of a future in that. And then with the $250 Chromebook, I know that $250 is a lot of money for people, but compared to what computers used to cost, it's unbelievable. And we're just going to see that trend getting cheaper and cheaper and more ubiquitous. So I know that I always, whenever I give a talk about technology, someone brings up, yeah, but what about the children who don't have internet access? They're going to have it.
Oh, they're getting it.
They're getting it. Yeah.
They even have it at McDonald's in a lot of places now.
Yeah, free. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Hey, before you get out of here, I really have to have someone tell me, why is Kevin wearing this big medal?
Oh, this
You
whole thing?
didn't hear?
This whole
It's
thing?
all over the internet.
How did you not know that Kevin won the demo today afternoon?
Yeah, he killed it. Yeah.
Talking about flip videos.
Yeah. At all the Google Summits, there's a demo slam on the first day where people come up and show off their tips and tricks. Once again, Kevin won it.
Yeah.
Again.
I mean, he's using Google Docs, and instead of writing comments when he finds common mistakes, he links to his videos, the one we were talking about, and then they can practice. And instead of writing, oh, you did this mistake again, they go and they learn themselves. So it's making the boring awesome. So that was a big slam.
It was, and it was impressive. I know one of my teachers is over the moon about it.
Awesome.
All right, gentlemen, I need to say, thanks so much for all your time, and I do want you to still be able to eat your sandwich and go to your next session. But it's great to have this partnership too. So maybe we can do this again another time.
Yeah, you guys are putting on a great show. Thanks for
thank you.
what you do.
All right. Have fun the rest of the day.
Thanks.
All right, Joan, where can they find you on the internet?
Oh, I am at DigiTeacher on Twitter, and I'm working on my own domain. Haven't got it yet. Some people have them.
And Kevin, where can they find you?
They can Google me. Just search for Kevin Brookhauser, and most of the social networks, I'm Brookhauser, at Brookhauser, that's me.
H-A-U-S-E-R?
H-O-U-S-E-R.
Okay.
The American.
Mr. Wandaluca?
Yeah, on Twitter at Mr. Fondaluca, or just Google me. It's easier.
And Shawnee?
Yep, that's it. At Shawnee, S-E-A-N-I. Where can people find you, Fred Delventhal? Maybe on Google+?
They can find me on Google Plus at Fred Delventhal, yeah, all one word. So yeah. Also, make sure that you check out all the podcasts and blogs on the EdReach network at edreach.us, as well as Stitcher Radio, and that will do it for this edition of Flip Learning Meets the Google Educast.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
See you guys.